The Cardinal King coming at you live from the King's Court, and today I invite you to join me on a journey to explore Midjourney 5.2. It has a lot of updates, and it includes something that you've all been asking for a very long time, outpainting. So join us on this journey. All right, guys, so let's get started with seeing the capabilities of Midjourney 5.2. So we've got a prompt window in here. I'm going to enter this kind of complicated prompt. I'm using this for a project that you guys will see more of later on in the month. I'm not quite done with it. I haven't really advanced on it, but I will soon. All right, guys, we ran this 3 times, and we're going to pick out some of the best photos to upscale. So just off the bat, I really like this first one, like the second one. The second one's more what I'm going for because I want the t-shirt to be blank. So we'll upscale 1 and 2. Okay, this next one, like 1. 2 is really nice. She has a really cool looking costume here. We're gonna roll with 4 here. I like 1 a lot, but I don't know if I like the wet hoodie. Well, we'll upgrade that one, that's fine. And then on this one, I really like these lights over here, and that actually has a lot of clarity on the hands, even though it's underwater. That's actually really nice. I like that. We're gonna do 1 and 3 here. So 1 and 3. Thing I want to show you guys now is that there are options now below this that are different than what you're used to, right? So we can have it do a variety, which is strong, and then we can have it do a variety, which is subtle. And then we can do the outpainting, which is the zoom out ×2, zoom out 1.5, custom zoom out, and make square just makes it so that the sides go out and it becomes a square. If you do the zoom out ×2, zoom out ×1.5, it stays in the same aspect ratio. Okay, so let's see here. Which one of these should we... This one has a really interesting looking background, so we'll do a zoom out ×2. And let's see here. This one we can do a make square. And on this one, let's do some strong variety and subtle varieties. We have the strong variations here, so this even changes the pose. I think it gave us the same girl in each one. I actually really like number 2 over here and number 1. These look fantastic. Same with number 4 over here. And for whatever reason, the one that's a little bit more extreme comes out quicker. The other one is still in queue, and the outpaint is incredibly slow right now. It takes a very long time to do. So with the magic of editing, we'll be fast forwarding that part. These are the subtle variations, right? So it didn't give us anything that's that groundbreakingly different. I mean, these aren't super different from each other. The face over here is a little bit different, but other than that, I mean, this is just for a little bit more refinement, right? So I actually like this one with the aguilettes out, and I like this one. So scale these 2. And this is the first zoom out that it's done for us. But yeah, look at that. That looks awesome. And it gives you variations on each zoom out. So you have the pool handles over here. I actually really like this. I like this even more though. Cool that it kept those lights, but yeah, it looks very consistent. It looks very nice. This is the one that we made into a square, if I believe correctly. So we'll upscale 1 of these. We'll do this one. It's the 2 times outpaint, and look at that. It gives us some really awesome results. So we can either go with a palm tree over here, this other type of neon palm tree that looks really cool, and this kind of like neon house. This one looks cool, and this one looks cool. I want to see what these 2 look like close up. Upscale that one, and we'll upscale this one. This one's very impressive looking. Looks like an actual building. This model has a lot of coherency. I feel like way more than 5.1. I do feel like the skin tones feel a little more plasticky than 5.1 though, but we can hide that, and I'll make a video about that later during the week. How we can post-process these to look a little more realistic. So I want to show you guys another little trick here that's interesting and really good for these longer prompts. So if we go /shorten, we can plug in this prompt, enter, and it shows us what the important tokens are. So this is what the machine is actually reading. So supermodel, black hoodie, pool, Miami, neon lights, Elsa Bledla, Unsplash Contest, Hyper Realism. So then we can press on these to make those, run those prompts, right? If we go into show details though, here's where it gets real interesting. It'll show us this thing again, and it'll show us the weight of each thing inside the prompt. And this is super powerful because if it's not giving us what we want, we can go in and weigh specific things inside the prompt to help it push it in that direction. So we're gonna run one of these just to show you guys an example of what's going on. So we'll run the first one, and then we'll run the second one. I think the third one's a little too stripped down. It's not gonna give us what we want. But you know what, we'll run it as well, just so you can see what happens, right? So here are our results from that, and this first one is pretty much the same thing we've got going on. These look really good. Again, 5.1 I think had better skin than this. The 5.2 skin looks a little plasticky, but like I said, we can fix that, and I'll show you guys that in a video I'm going to come up with next week or later this week. This is the second one, so even more reduced than the other one. Even this one still has that same general vibe. This one looks really cool. Look at that reflection. And the third one, I think the concept got too far away from us here. Like this has the same vibe again, but he's like facing backwards. It's not as specific. So I want to give you guys an example of something that's a little bit more stylized. So we're going to do an illustration of Freddie Mercury by Mike Mignola, and the style is going to be raw. And this number over here, the 750, determines how stylized something is. You can set that between anywhere between 0 and 1,000. The default is 100, so the more you crank that up, the more stylized things get. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to run it 3 times. All right, and here are our results. I ran it at stylized 750 3 times just so we can have a little bit of a baseline, and then I lowered the stylization little by little, and then I'll show you what we did on the last part. But let's go through these real quick. So this one, none of these look like Freddie Mercury except maybe this one. That's cool. I put in a real guitar though. It's a PV T60, T50. This one's kind of Mike Mignola-ish, but it doesn't really look like Freddie Mercury. Same with this one's very stylized Mike Mignola. None of these look like Freddie Mercury, or this one kind of looks Mignola-ish. There we go. This one's definitely Freddie Mercury, but it doesn't look Mike Mignola-ish. This one's also very Mike Mignola-ish, but it doesn't look like Freddie Mercury at all. And this one's cool. He's like a Freddie Mercury freedom fighter. Look at that. Okay, so now we lowered the stylization rating. So this one here that's what I was going for. That's exactly what I wanted. And on this model, the 5.2, it takes you a couple more tries to get exactly what you want. So even in the official release, that's what it says, right? This top one is really nice. I would love to see how you can get that consistently with prompts. Okay, so this one's stylization at 250. And this bottom left one's actually really nice. Not necessarily a Mignola, but that's like very comic book artish. I like this one a lot. Okay, so now we went ahead and shortened the prompt. It wasn't a long prompt to begin with, but we didn't need an illustration there. So just Freddie Mercury by Mike Mignola. It shows the weight of each one. So Mercury is the most high one, which probably shouldn't be. We should probably put colons on Mike Mignola here to make that the highest one. And we just did Freddie Mercury by Mike Mignola, and this one's exactly what we wanted. That's perfect. So now we're starting to see that the shorter the prompt here sometimes, the better it'll go, right? I'm still under the belief that Midjourney has something on its back end that expands on shorter prompts like this, and then it's based on that matching algorithm that they have. Let's see here. So I heard back in the day that if you put the artist first, it kind of weighs that heavier than the subject, so it helps out with the composition. But I'm kind of not thinking that's the case anymore, because this one's very Mike Mignola-ish and execution and everything, but this one isn't, right? Even though we put him first. I would argue that maybe this one's kind of Mignola-ish, but the other ones aren't. That has been the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the very goofy things that YouTubers tell you to do. That helps us grow. I've got a very exciting project for you guys coming up in the following month, so stick around. This has been the Cardinal King, out.